For centuries, we've had this one big idea, a powerful metaphor for how our whole economy works. But what happens when that metaphor is just obsolete? Today, we're going to dig into a massive shift in our world, from a force we thought we understood to a new kind of intelligence that's literally redesigning reality itself. So let's jump right in.
So here's the core of it. On one side, you've got the classic invisible hand, the idea that the market guides itself through all of our individual choices. And on the other, something totally new and way more powerful, the invisible brain. This is an AI-driven system that shapes our choices before we even know we're making them. This is the huge transition we're going to unpack today.
All right, to really get where we're going, we first have to understand where we've been. For the last, 250 years or so, our entire view of the economy was built on two foundational ideas. And the funny thing is, both of them put a human right at the absolute center of the universe. Our story really kicks off way back in the 18th century with a guy you've probably heard of, Adam Smith, the father of modern economics. But then, fast forward to the 20th century, and the plot gets a really interesting twist. A psychologist, Daniel Kahneman, comes along and basically challenges everything that Smith had built. So Adam Smith gave us the invisible hand. And it's this really beautiful, optimistic idea, right? That when everyone just acts in their own self-interest, the market somehow, magically balances itself out for the good of everybody. But here's the catch. The entire theory depends on one huge assumption, that we humans are rational decision makers.
But then came Daniel Kahneman, and his work on prospect theory just completely flipped the script. He proved that humans are, well, anything but rational. We're driven by all these cognitive biases, we fear losing something way more than we enjoy gaining that exact same thing, and our decisions are often, frankly, a bit of a mess. He showed us that the irrational human mind was actually the one pulling the levers all along.
And here is the most important part. It doesn't matter if you believed in Smith's logical, rational human or Kahneman's messy, irrational one. Both of these massive, world-shaping theories agreed on one fundamental thing. A human was always the one making the choice. A person was in the driver's seat.
That single assumption held strong for centuries. But now, it's breaking down. We've officially entered an era where those old models just can't keep up, because the decider, the thing making the choice, is changing.
This brings us to the paradigm-shifting question. What happens to our markets, to our choices, to our entire economy when the entity making the decisions isn't human?
Because that's exactly what's happening right now. Just think about it. Recommendation algorithms suggest what we buy online. Automated systems are setting prices in financial markets. Data is predicting what a factory should produce next week. AI is evaluating, sorting, and deciding things faster and on a scale that no human brain could ever handle.
And this brings us to our new central concept. The old invisible hand is fading away, and in its place, a brand new economic operating system is coming online. It's time to meet the invisible brain.
So what is the invisible brain? Well, it's not one single supercomputer somewhere. It's better to think of it as a vast, interconnected, cognitive infrastructure. It's the whole network of algorithms, data platforms, and AI systems that are all working together to structure our reality, to filter what we see, and to literally design the options we get to choose from.
So how does this brain actually work? Well, you can break it down into four main jobs. First, it filters information, deciding what you even get to see. Then it reconstructs your options, redesigning what's even possible for you. After that, it guides your behavior towards a specific outcome. And finally, it's constantly optimizing the entire market in real time.
The consequence of all this is absolutely profound. The invisible hand was about a market that found its own natural balance. The invisible brain is all about creating a designed balance. The market is no longer a process of discovery, it's a project of engineering.
And this, as you can probably guess, changes everything, especially for business. The old rules of competition are being completely rewritten. Winning is no longer just about having the best product on the shelf, not even close.
This table right here, it really just synthesizes the entire shift for us. We started with a rational human, guided by the invisible hand toward a market with an autonomous balance. Then we realized the human was irrational, driven by cognitive biases toward distorted choices. And now we have a human plus AI hybrid, guided by the invisible brain, which creates a market of totally designed choice. Let's make this real. Take Amazon. You think they're just a store selling products? No way. They are masters of designing choice. Their search results, the customers who bought this also bought feature, the genius of one-click purchasing. It's all one giant, sophisticated system built to guide your decision.
Or what about Netflix? What's their real product? It isn't the movies or the shows themselves, it's the recommendation algorithm. That's their secret sauce. It's a system that learns your preferences so deeply that it stops just finding what you like and starts actively designing and shaping your taste over time.
And Tesla takes this a step further. A Tesla isn't just a car. It's a rolling data collection platform that's constantly feeding an enormous decision-making system. It's autonomous driving AI. They aren't just selling you transportation. They are building an intelligence that makes driving decisions for us.
So, the crucial point is this. The ultimate competitive advantage in the era of the invisible brain isn't a better product or a cleverer marketing campaign. It is the ability to build a better, smarter decision-making architecture.
This really represents the final, profound shift. We've gone from an economy where businesses went out to find existing demand, to a new economy where the most successful players are the ones who can actually create and structure demand through algorithmic design.
And that leaves us with a really critical question to think about. In a world guided by an invisible brain, where our options are filtered and our path is pretty much pre-designed, are we really the ones making the choice?